Right, welcome everybody to another episode of Chris and Dave's Reality TV Cast. I'm one of your hosts, Chris, and my co-host, a very good friend, is Dave.
Hey there, Chris, and hello to our listeners out there. Welcome to Chris and Dave's Reality TV Cast. We are covering I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here, Season 23, and it's Week 3, Chris, and it's just pre the final, so we don't know who's actually going to win yet, but where would you like to start today?
Well, I'll tell you what, Dave, one thing before we start is massive thank you to everyone who's reached out with our Let's Talk About ADHD episode, which we did a couple of days ago. We sort of laid it all out there. We did it in our own way, as we do. There's a couple of jokes and stuff, but the feedback's been really, really positive, and a lot of people have. You probably see it on the actual notice boards of Facebook. We've had DMs as well, people talking to us saying thank you for sharing. So I'm glad it's got the response that we hoped it would. Us just like talking about ourselves and what it means. And there's a few people actually saying, right, I'm going to get some medication. I feel like, I'll get some advice on medication, or I'm going to get some further advice, get testing. So yeah, honestly, it's been such a positive thing. So thank you to everyone who listened to that episode.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's funny, isn't it? A lot of people who've messaged us, a lot of people, it's been like a nagging doubt already. And, they're going to follow the process. I mean, it does seem like there's a lot of people looking to get checked out. There's in the UK, at least, there's huge waiting lists. So it is a long process, but if you're unsure and you do want to know, then it's definitely worth kicking off at some point.
Yeah, 100%. So anyway, then let's get back to it. So I wanted to talk about this. Someone who have been deeply disappointed in since they've been in the actual villa. The villa. Okay, now it's not Love Island, Dave. Even though Love Island All Stars has now been advertised. Just throwing it out there for January, but I can feel the virtual punch right now. So. No, one of the characters in The Jungle who I absolutely love on all the shows, and we spoke about him the other night properly, but I think having time to reflect, I've been so disappointed in Fred. The last week or so, and I know we covered it in our last proper I'm a Celeb episode, but he turned into a fucking bellend towards the end, didn't he? Really controlling, and I don't know whether The Jungle got the better of him, and it's that old saying about how the mask slips on these shows, doesn't it? They all come in there, best mates, and then within a couple of weeks, everyone's real personality is bound to come out and get on each other's nerves. But yeah, I just was really disappointed with him as a whole, and it's made me question now, is he as nice as what I've always thought he was?
Well, I think I'm going to try and be a bit balanced, but I have been on a bit of a roller coaster with Fred. So when he was the chef and everything, and then Josie took over, I could kind of get it. Chris, you're a massive gamer, and, particularly games that require a lot of skill and, knowledge of maps and things when you have these first-person shooters and stuff like that. If you had someone like me come over and you just went, right, okay, here are the buttons, and I wasn't listening. And I was just like, it's all right, just leave it to me. And you say, all right, well, what you want to do is you want to go down here because there's a BFG gun or something round the corner here. And I just go, hey, let's go off the other direction. Oh, I'm killed. Right. And you say, no, you don't want to go there because there's a gang of people waiting for you. They're going to kill you every time. And then, I'm dead again. Oh, I just did it. It's exactly the same thing. If I do that a good few times, you're going to get pissed off. I think, and different people, I think, I would probably get pissed off before you. You would have a more patience than I would, but I think if you are so skilled in something and then you see someone do the basic things that you've studied this, you are a professional at this art. And then I think what was she was trying to make bean fritters or something. Didn't have any flour or oil or anything. The things that you need to bind the beans together. So it was just a massive cock up and just ended up being this mushy bean stew kind of thing. But everyone's like, oh, yeah, better than Fred's. I can imagine him just sat there getting really frustrated. So for a lot of it in this last week, I've been like, no, I know he's coming across like an arse, but that's us sat at home, maybe with a cup of tea or a glass of wine or something in a very comfortable environment. I think I can understand where he is. However, right before he eventually got chucked off, he seemed to go into overdrive on being a massive knob. When he was putting himself forward for one of the challenges, I really didn't appreciate how he was saying to Sam, oh, it's okay, Sam, you play with your toys. Like, what? You fucking bellend? Where does that come from? And Sam's just sort of sat there like, what? And he just seemed to go into massive overdrive on being a dick. And I didn't quite understand because we hadn't seen that. We'd seen him get frustrated with the whole cooking thing, but he just seemed to switch. Chris, if I didn't know better, I'd think he was on the sauce or something in there. He just seemed like a different person and a nastier person at that. So I think it was right when he went out, but I think it was just that last kind of 24, 48 hours for me where he just went from I could get where he was coming from to nope, you're just a bit of an arse.
I think you're right, actually. But no, and it's interesting. I think as the week went on and he left, it did open up. The camp seemed a bit more relaxed because I do think the way he volunteered for the fucking, the challenge. I'm doing it. Yeah, you're going to vote for me, aren't you? No, I'm doing it. I'm like, oh, come on, shut the fuck up. You know what I mean? Like even Tony Bell, who probably could have just said to him, shut up, was just like, oh my God, mate, come on. So yeah, I'm glad he went. And I think it opened the dynamic, Dave. But what about Sam and Marvin and all the others? The film that they're going to be starring in, Dave, when they were reenacting that film this week, I was quite funny, actually. I was laughing my head off at Sam. He's so energetic, isn't he?
Yeah.
And in a nice way. He's not putting that on. That is him because he never stops. And the minute he gets up to the minute he goes to sleep, that is Sam Thompson. So I'm so pleased that he's been in there because I think it'd have been so fucking boring if we'd not had someone like him in there because he brings everyone up, doesn't he? He brings the mood. Everyone's bouncing off him. And him and Tony, I saw when Figgy came in, his best friend as well, what's he called? Bloody mop it off, Towie, Pete Wicks. And he was like, just remember, it's not Marvin and Tony, it's me, like laughing. That's the shit. I said it the other week. But yeah, what did you think, Dave? Because I'm so pleased he's the favourite and I just hope he wins. My God, I hope he wins.
Yeah, I'm totally Team Sam. And I'm sure we talked about it on the ADHD episode, but I was surprised. I thought it was a bit of a persona that he was putting on for the cameras, all the energy. And I thought, right, at some point the energy's going to run out. But fucking hell, he's got an infinite supply, it seems. And Chris, I have watched the clip where he's singing to Tony so many times, where he's got his little, we are best friends, we interlock fingers, it's not that weird. And you've got Tony Bellew looking there, he's like, what the fuck is going on? And I have to say, I thought initially, for the first week or so, I thought Tony Bellew came across a bit grumpy. I thought, he's really struggling to tolerate Sam. But you know what? He's been a bit of a rock in there for everyone. And I've really warmed to him, actually, in this last week. I think he's been good. But it is like he's just being irritated by this little puppy who's snapping around at his heels. It's just, it's amazing. I mean, I think Tony will be in with a shout, but I think it is going to be Sam's. The wild card is obviously the GB News followers are apparently, going full on, with social media and everything, creating fake images for Nigel Farage, to be all heroic and stuff. So there is a little bit of a wild card there. But I think it will be Sam, and he has been so entertaining. And I guess what I've not seen, apart from the little things, a bit of conflict with Fred and stuff, this lot, they've all sort of got on, really, haven't they? And they haven't been, crap at the tasks, so they've always come back with stars, so they're all quite well fed. And so I'm guessing you watch all the seasons, don't you? But in previous seasons, is there a bit more conflict and people not getting on?
No, I think it's about the same. I think you get the ones who just don't do anything. You know, like on Big Brother, where they're like, this person's not washed the pots once, or they've just not made the bed, or whatever. You get a little bit of that. Someone's always the chef, someone else does the dunny, and then it mixes it up. There's been a few times, but this now, I can't really. I'm going to get called out for this, but I can't recall anyway any massive stand-up arguments. I've seen it where they fall out, and obviously they're tired, they're not eating, they're hungry. But I think it's not been any different this series than what I expected. I just think you're right. I think this whole Nigel Farage thing is fucking bullshit if he wins it. And I've got a feeling he might, Dave, and that's what I'm really conscious of. There's manipulation of the votes and stuff like that just to prove a point. That's what you're getting if he wins it. It's a case of, well, actually, who's voting for him? Because everyone online is saying what a massive fucking cock he is, but then there's obviously an audience for him, so I don't know. I'd be gutted if he wins it. I'll be honest with you. Yeah,
I mean, look, I'm going to be a bit controversial now. You can see he's got charisma. You can see why people follow him. It's when he gets into his politics, it's like, fucking hell. But, dare I say it, Chris, a lot of the leaders from the right, quite charismatic. Not going to call them out, but, there was a chap from Austria, very charismatic. So I don't know. I could see it happening. But ultimately, Farage just shouldn't be there. He's been pretty boring. He's been a bit shit at the tasks. All right, he did okay in the cyclone stuff, but he hasn't been that great. And we saw the likes of obviously Fred went, Tony went as well, or Nick rather, not fucking Tony from Hollyoaks. So and Josie going and Danielle, you sort of think these people have been more entertaining and done more. So there is that tactical voting going on, I feel, because it's not for what they're doing on the show.
Yeah, and I'm with you, Dave. And I think, like, you look at who's there, them three, and the way it's gone. And I did like when you get the human element to it, as in when the family members came in, Dave. Because I tell you what, when Tony's belly, his missus came in, who did look a little bit like Colleen Rooney. But when she came in and he saw her, I mean, he's a big bloke. He probably don't do it justice. I've said it before. I'm 6'2", and he towers over me. He's a big bloke. And he just fucking went in. As soon as he saw his wife, that was it. And I thought it was lovely that. I thought the interaction, the way they were holding hands, the discussion. Then she asked him where the fucking plug is for the electric toothbrush, and he just plugged straight in. And I'm pissing myself going, yeah, they're the sort of conversations I would probably have. So that was brilliant. That's like real life stuff, though, isn't it, Dave? Like that. I love you. I've missed you, but can you tell us how we charge me toothbrush up? I just fucking stupid. But they're the comments. So I did like the family thing, even when Farage's daughter coming in that, because it's not it's a dad at the end of the day. She loves him. Yeah. The discussion was there. You've got to take that emotion out of it. And I did like it. When Marvin saw Rochelle, his girlfriend, she was at the Saturdays. Obviously, he was in. Jordan's seen him on the what's the band called, Dave? He's in. People will be screaming. Jordan's seen him live twice as well. JLS.
Yeah. How can we not know that? I mean, Sam is recounting that famous song.
Yeah. Everybody in love. Put your hands up on, Dave. I'm putting mine up now.
Everybody in love, put your hands up. Even I know it now,
Brilliant. Imagine how much money that has taken now. But no, I think like we've got to the end of the show. The most popular people are there, whether we like it or not. And I'm with you on Tony. The grumpy old man, like skit of like, Sam, you're just too much. But he's been real nice. And Josie couldn't compliment him, must say, like, how chivalrous he was. What a great guy, a real gentleman, a real credit to his family. So that's all you want as a person, Dave. You know what I mean? He obviously is a stand-up guy, and Sam's got to win it for me. He's got to win it. He cannot be. I said from the start I was Team Sam, but even more so now, it's got to be him.
Yeah.
Him or nothing for me. That's it. I just can't see. I don't think Tony's going to win it at all.
I think it'd be an outside bet, wouldn't he? But I did appreciate, Chris, you had the Rocky music, didn't you? The Eye of the Tiger playing when Tony was going for the cyclone there. And you got the famous quote, didn't you? I thought you'd like that, the old Rocky quote. It's not about how hard you get hit. That.
Yeah. Brilliant. Sorry to cut across you. You're right. It was... His class, Dave. It was good. I loved it. I do like the Cyclone. I mean, you've not watched a lot of him, but have you seen the Cyclone before?
I haven't, but I was confused because, like, again, Sam is turned up to 11 anyway. But when he found out the Cyclone was coming, he's up to 12. He's just going mental for it. I'm like, what the fuck is the Cyclone? Honestly, Chris, it reminded me of. Do you remember the Krypton Factor? The assault course was always my favourite bit of that. And I thought it just looked like such fun. One of the previous challenges where you had like Marvin and Nigel, and then they're sat like digging through all this shit for the stars and stuff. You're like, oh Christ, and you've got all the cockroaches on them as well. Proper. This is what I'm expecting. But the Cyclone just looked like a load of fun. And it didn't look that dirty, and it was good to see him get the stars, and they did really well, didn't they?
Yeah, honestly, it's good fun, and Ant and Deck just piss themselves laughing, don't they? Like they're just absolutely ripping. But I mean, as a show, it's something completely different that we never covered. I mean, we said let's do something leading up to Christmas, let's do something completely different. But I have actually enjoyed covering it as for the podcast, not just watching it. I have. Like, it's just been a really, really nice watch, I think. Something a little bit different than what we used to. A little bit of drama, but for once, it was just more about the people. And there's some really, really nice stories in there as well, even if they are celebrities.
Yeah, I agree. I'm with you. I've really enjoyed covering it. And I like the fact that it's just 3 weeks. It's not an absolute slog, so we can quick in and out, and then we're in the run into Christmas, and we'll figure out. You say, what was it? Love Island All Stars. I mean, is that an oxymoron? I'm just not sure about how All Stars this will be. But I did watch. Did you watch any of that Love Island Games?
I did watch 2 episodes. I watched of it. Yeah. I don't know, Dave. What did you think of it? Did you like it?
I wasn't sure, to be honest. It was like, you had Curtis on there, and you had a few others from all the different, mostly the UK and US, wasn't it? And Australia. I mean, you had Callum from Wales there. He was only on the last season that we watched. But yeah, I don't know. It was just we watch this. And we suspend disbelief, or we try to, don't we? I know we're cynical and old, but, we try and believe that this is really about people going in there and finding love. We still cling to that. But with this, it's just like, oh, yeah, so you've not actually been able to go on and do anything else. You're just still clinging on to the fact that you were on fucking Love Island, and that's it. So... you compare that to someone like Molly May, who's gone on, she was already, an influencer or whatever, but she's really propelled onto other stuff. Whereas, just seeing him go back and then just like, hey, you might recognize me from season whatever of Love Island. It didn't grab me at all.
No. And I know, obviously, Maya Jama's the host. She should be the host of the All-Star one. Maybe the All-Star one might hit, but that Callum you say, Binde, who's a complete bellend on the Aussie one, the Welsh lad. And I felt like he came out as one of the Aussie contestants. He's like, it's a bit of a stretch that. I know he lives in Australia, but it's like, get a proper Aussie on there. Not some fucking, and he just reminded me of that lad. I know you've never seen it with Geordie Shore. Fucking Scotty T. He's an absolute bellend, just completely over the top, dead disrespectful to the women, and just like absolutely loves the smell of his own farts. It's just such an egomaniac. I just don't like that Callum at all.
Yeah.
And it just wasn't for me. Wasn't for me, Dave. I would have liked to see Curtis do a bit of the old fucking samba or something, a bit of, a bit of dancing again, because that's still one of my favourite ever Love Island sections when he came out dancing.
Yeah.
Fucking the best ever. But not for me.
My favourite meme was it was a picture of Curtis with his King Julian headdress on, and it was just a picture of him, and someone had written something like, when you're walking down the middle aisle at Aldi and pick up a bargain. Ultimately something you don't need. But Chris, I do have a question for you. Who was to blame for burning the rice?
Dave, you know what? I'm going to be honest with you. You're going to have to refresh my memory.
Yeah, that's quite all right. So it's a problem if we watch a whole week. So Nigel was playing the sous chef, wasn't he? So, Sam was the head chef. And Nigel said to Sam, "Oh, the rice is just coming to the boil," or something like that, and then walks off. And Sam's sort of half asleep, and then falls asleep, and then the rice was burning. And I thought it was a bit debatable, because Nigel was sort of blaming Sam, the head chef, and but Sam wasn't having any. I honestly, I was watching it, and I was thinking, I'm not sure. He's very ambiguous. So he's kind of, you could see why in Nigel's head he's thinking, "Oh, I've handed over responsibility to Sam," but he wasn't blatant about it. He didn't say, like, "Can you look after the rice?" or anything, but it was a little bit of a stir, didn't it?
Yeah, but Dave, that's a classic politician, isn't it? That's like fucking. Well, I told him if he didn't do anything with it, I'm not bothered. See you later.
Yeah,
it probably was Sam. Sam probably should have got up, but I'm just blaming Nigel because he's not a bell end, Dave. So let's just blame Nigel anyway. Fuck him. Pardon my French, but not anything else, Dave, because we are going to come back and do like the final, aren't we? Just talk about like who won it and what we think overall of the series and that.
No, at the time of recording, I'm just looking forward to the final now. I just, like I say, I really want Sam to win it. I just hope the British public can, restore a bit of my voting faith, or my faith in voting.
Hopefully.
But so looking forward to it. I mean, is there anything I should be expecting from the final? Is it more of the same?
It's more of the same. They'll get like they usually get a massive meal they can't even eat, like what their favourite meal, like pizzas will come in or burgers or, and they got the ice cream and stuff last night. There'd be all that sort of thing where basically they can't even eat it. It's that much. But no, it's nothing really changes. It's sort of winding down now. The best bits are probably gone, to be honest. They'll have one more challenge, but I think the last challenge, they pretty much can't fail on it. Yeah. So we just end up with like loads of food, and that's because of the way they've been eating. So no, it'll be good. It's good to sort of wrap it all up as well. And obviously we know we're middle of December. We're probably going to have a couple of weeks break, aren't we? And then we'll have a look at what we're doing. It might be Love Island All Stars as it starts in January. We'll think of something else we can cover anyway.
Yeah, no, that sounds good. And I do have to say, Chris, you were saying that Ant and Dec were lulling maybe a little bit last season, but I have enjoyed them as well this season. I think they've been funny.
They're fucking hard. They have been good. Some of the stuff has been pretty close to the bone this time. The one the other day when he was bent over and he's like, what did he say? He said something about I can't remember what he said, but when he was being they used the innuendo, shall we say, Dave? Even Dec's like, not a chance I'm going down this route.
So
not a chance.
There's a couple of bits that really made me laugh. So, Ant was being very loving. I can't remember exactly what his words were, but, and he was giving him a big hug or something, and he was saying, "Can you feel it?" or something, and Dec's looking down and he's saying, "I can feel something." and then Josie, to be honest, I nearly spat my tea out. When Josie comes out and they ask her, "What are you going to do?" and she says, "Oh, well, I'm going to have a blow dry."
Yeah.
It's like, well, I thought you were going to say something else there. Woof. Bit of a close one on live TV.
Very good that was. Yeah, because he did. Deck went, oh, hang on, no, he's past the watershed. We're all right, like laughing. But yeah, I was the same. There's been a few ones this time. They've been a lot better this series for me personally. But no, it's been good, mate. Really good. And just a massive thank you to everyone who tuned in. I know it's like I say, it's a different reality show. We will be back talking about utter bellends who love reality TV. And it's all about the fucking Instagram thing. They'll be coming back, Dave. But this was a nice way just to finish off the year for us. So if you want to email us, guys, cdrealitycast@gmail.com. Follow us on social media @cdrealitycast. As always, get over to Facebook, Chris and Dave's Reality TV Cast. Come over there and join us. And the chat is amazing. Links to all the shows are on the main board, but the actual chat on the Facebook message has been a great help, and loads of discussion on there for each show as well. So it's all categorized now really well. So thank you so much, guys. Thanks for Charlene, as always, for moderating over there. If you do want to support us, get over to patreon.com/CD Realitycast. So the roll call of honour is a big thank you to Ken Gustafson, Lucky Lula Green, Lauren Hennessy, Susan Dee, Katie, Libby, Joanna, Noreen, Chloe, Helen, Keith, Gillian, Zoe, Maggie, Megan, Cassie, Fiona, Emma, Nicola, Helen, Larissa, Amanda, Kim, Nick, Andrea Sims, and Katja. So thank you so much, guys. Sorry, I had a brain fart then. But thank you so much for your support. We really appreciate it. As we come to the end of this year, 2023 has been an amazing year for our podcast. You know, we just keep growing, and there's so many new listeners come on board. So thank you so much. I was actually watching the Spotify Wraps, Dave, and it's quite humbling seeing like how many we're actually available in 54 countries around the world, Dave.
Nice.
Which is unbelievable. And the 4 biggest countries are America, UK, Ireland, and Canada. And Australia, sorry. And Australia. I think Canada's 5th. So thank you so much globally to everyone who tunes into the podcast. It's been so good to see all that.
No, that is amazing. And we will have one more episode where we go through the final. So fingers crossed. I'm with you, rooting for you, Sam. But thank you very much, mate. Thanks to all our listeners out there. Thanks to all our supporters. And we'll speak to you next time.
Bye.